Nope, not clickbait. I actually worked my drone to the point where it pushed its own off switch to stop working for me. All jokes aside, I am fairly bummed about this. So I was conducting a routine mapping mission with my Mavic 3T, doing some work for the Nova guys and gals, and had swapped the batteries and was starting the second flight. When about a minute and a half into the flight, suddenly it gave me an error that there was no memory card inserted, and shortly after that, it started tumbling out of the sky directly into the almond trees. I would love to show you the footage and the final moments of the drone as it came down, but the memory card was lost. So my best guess is the propeller broke right here at, obviously, the propeller broke off of the bearing right here on the propeller on here. This is still all intact right here, but very clearly it has sheared. See if I can give you a good glimpse of the shear right there. I'll zoom that in post, but you can see it has sheared off right there where the, for lack of better terms, bearing would be, and had enough force when it came loose to embed itself in the airframe right above the battery and the SD card module, which you can see is empty. The SD card is either dragged into the drone somewhere or it's out in the middle of the orchard. I'd spent probably about a half an hour out there looking for the micro SD card because I wanted to recover all of the data that was on it, especially the fact that it was a 400 gigabyte SD card. But anyone who knows what a micro SD card looks like, it's about the size of your thumbnail, and this one was colored black. So it's somewhere out there along the flight path of where the drone was flying over the orchard. And I already spent a half an hour looking for it. It's a needle in a haystack, and I had to start water on the orchard. So if I ever do find it out there, it will absolutely be a miracle. But I really wish I could, just to get the data off of it. Or who knows, maybe it's shoved in here, because I want to give you guys an idea. That's how wedged in here it is. I don't know what else to say. That is in there tight. Anyone who thinks that I'm playing this up for the camera, do you really think I would sacrifice a Mavic 3T for views? Absolutely not. Especially this one. I'm really bummed about this because this is the OG workhorse of Northwind Aerial. This is the first drone that I got that I used so much. I was actually just finishing up a video where I realized I've got somewhere around like 240 flight hours on this drone. It means a lot to me. I mean, it probably doesn't show up in the camera, but I have that little red spot right there. I added that on there as a victory symbol of sorts to celebrate the find up in Stony Fort. It was one of the first videos on my channel before I really knew anything about editing or voiceover or whatnot. So this is a bummer. I'm really bummed out about this. I never quite considered propellers as wearable items outside of, obviously, the blades. You know, if a blade got damaged or nicked or anything like that, well, absolutely pop them off. I was just talking with my buddy Matt from Butte County Search and Rescue, and we were looking at the prices of propellers, and, you know, it's $26 for a set of 4 to replace these. I absolutely would have done that. I just never thought that these would be breaking off. So here's what I think happened, is the propeller sheared off from its bearing, flew with such force from the centrifugal motion that it embedded itself in the airframe above the battery. You can see the crack right there of how hard it split it apart when it came in. And that is what caused it to pitch, which you'll see here on the map, where it started going off to one side. It basically lost a lot of torque from this propeller, lost a lot of lift from this propeller as well, and that's what caused it to basically completely come unseated and go into a death spiral, where it hit the ground, shattering all the parts of this propeller, which when I was out there looking for the missing SD card, I did find pieces of it. I have 2 small plastic pieces from the propeller here, and then this is what's left of the starboard front propeller, which is obviously shattered completely apart. The only thing I could think of is maybe I somehow got aftermarket ones because it doesn't have DJI stamped on them, but it's the exact same model, 9453 Foxtrot, 9453 Foxtrot, the exact same model of propeller. So I'll look it up and see if maybe I accidentally got some knockoff DJI propellers when I ordered some new ones and replaced them from wear and tear. God, I don't know, 100 flight hours or so ago. I have no idea when I replaced these. So, I don't know. All right, so this is the first of 2 addendums to this video that I'm making the morning after finishing recording it. I went back and looked at my Amazon orders, and this is the order of propellers that I purchased last. So I mostly just wanted to share this for transparency's sake because it does have the exact same model number on there, but they are obviously not DJI stamped. So I don't want to sit here and say these are complete knockoffs, especially since I ran these propellers for many flight hours without any issue. But this is what I was flying when the drone fell out of the sky. So buyer beware. Let's really quickly go and look at the flight logs now and the warning logs to kind of showcase exactly what I'm talking about. So here's the data pulled from AirData UAV, which is a service that I use to basically back up all of my flight records. So as we can see, July 18th, 2025, flying at 3:35 p.m., took off and was completely fine until it got the total flight time was 1 minute 43 seconds. And it was doing completely fine, following its map until all of a sudden it deviated from its path right along this tree as it's flying and swerved over to the east, swerved back, trying to get back on its line, and then right about here is where it went into its death spiral. So right here at 1 minute and 32 seconds, you can see that it gave me a warning for no memory card. And 4 seconds later, it gave me the warning for detected side shock, possible collision, aircraft is rolling sharply to the left. That's pretty consistent with losing thrust on the left side of the drone and having it start to roll to the left because you wouldn't have anything keeping it up on that direction. Next thing it told me is the gimbal 1 pan axis endpoint reached. I wonder why. Task paused, obstacle detected. If I had to guess, the obstacle detected is probably the giant propeller blade sticking out the back of it right by the safety sensors cameras. This one right here, I'm not entirely sure. Detected forward shock, possible collision. Aircraft is pitching sharply forward. If I had to guess, that would be it trying to right itself. And then everything else kind of follows that as it plummets towards the ground. So the big damage to it is the gimbal is completely broken off from its mount. And some of the structures right inside here are just completely broken off. I mean, it's totaled, I'm pretty sure. It'll turn on, but it sounds like it's going to die, and I obviously leave it off because I'm afraid of a fire hazard. Chat, are we cooked? So I don't want to sit here and make it sound like a oh god, look at it. It's twitching. This is just sad. This is just sad. I'm kind of at a loss as to what to do with it. I don't have DJI Care on it, in case you were asking, in case you were wondering, because when I purchased this, I was a little bit worried about spending any more money on it, and I forgot to extend it. And then I've been trying to extend it over the last couple of years, but I bought it from a third-party retailer, not a very reputable one, like official, like, hey, quote, signed, whole 9 yards. But since I was going through them and not DJI, it made things a little more complicated. It made it a little bit hard for the maintenance schedule and to purchase DJI Care again from it. So yeah, I'm kind of at a loss as to what to do. Especially with all the news going on that DJI Care is gone, and getting this sent in for repairs is going to be kind of a nightmare because of the stupid political climate we have going on right now against DJI. I wanted to create this video to kind of document it, so when I have to disassemble this to send it in, I have this video record to show that this is all the stuff that's broken that I could find, and again to show the fact that the propeller is so wedged in here. I mean, I can wiggle it like that, but the propeller is so wedged in here, I can hold the drone up and spin it around, and it's not falling out. I mean, yeah. Here, I'll see if one more final shot before I set it down. So you can see it's wedged in on top of the battery, and part of it's broken in, but it is deep in there. It's... I mean, you looked at the title of the video. The drone literally committed seppuku instead of working for me a moment longer. So hopefully this serves as kind of a nice little record. I'm going to start uploading the flight logs and whatnot to DJI before I start sending anything in blindly. I want to get a hold of their support and see what my options are, because if I send this into DJI and they're like, hey, it's going to be the cost of a brand new one of these, probably not going to go that route. If I go somewhere to like a third-party fixer and they're going to be like, yeah, it's going to be about the cost of a brand new one of these, I don't quite know what I'm going to do there. Especially with not being able to see if, I don't know, was there a bird strike or something? I didn't see any birds in the air while I was flying it because I had visual line of sight on it the entire time. I don't know. I really don't know what could have caused this, except for just the bearing on the propeller wore out. But from now on, I'm going to be replacing the propellers on this probably every, I don't know, at least 50 flight hours, if not 20 flight hours. Usually they get wear and tear from, you know, grass and sticks or something in kind of crummy landing zones that I replace them when they get all worn out. But this is a new one. I've never heard of something like this happening. I've never heard of a propeller coming apart like that. I'm at a loss. So, as the community, I'm going to be holding on to this for quite a while, probably outside, just in case of battery issues, so I don't burn the house down. But what are your thoughts on it? Should I send it into DJI, just let them have it, and try and figure out what's going on? Do I send it to some place like Ohio Drone Repair and try and have them take care of it? Do I send it in and try and get some credit for the, you know, rare earth materials that make up this whole thing? I don't know. All I know is, you know, at least I've got 6 new batteries for my DJI Mavic 3 Pro, and unless I can get this repaired or replaced for a very good price, I think it's the end of the era. This drone is pretty old as far as the market goes, and might as well look at getting something like the Matrice 4T instead for better search and rescue operations and better mapping operations. I might as well go with something like that. I've had a lot of great time with this drone. Just videography, photos, search and rescue, firefighting. This drone is what started the Northwind Aerial channel. It's not my first drone, but it was my first serious drone. It was the drone that I used for so much. So I don't know. If I can't get a good price on getting it repaired or replaced, then I'll probably try and fix it myself. So we will see if she flies again or not. But in the meantime, pour one out for him. Pour one out for our boy. Pour one out for the founding father of the Northwind Aerial channel. It's depressing. I'm sorry, buddy. I don't know. I don't find the jokes about drones crashing all that funny, because at the end of the day, they're aircraft and they can hurt people as they come down, and it just makes drone pilots seem like crappy pilots. So I'm trying not to be embarrassed about it, even though I don't know what I would have done to fix this, except for maybe I should have replaced the propellers sooner. So in the very least, let this be a warning to everyone out there that this can happen. and maybe go change your propellers. So this is addendum number 2. Last night, as I was lamenting the loss of my drone to my various friends, one of them, Erica, brought up the fact that this drone died doing what it was designed to do, helping humanity. I know it seems really cheesy to say, but this mapping mission I was doing was to study thermal energy signatures of irrigation in orchards, as I'm working with Nova to try and figure out a way of mapping out leaks in irrigation systems so we can speed up the process of fixing them and save water and hopefully help out agriculture across the world with the science we were doing. It was in the process of gathering large amounts of mapping data for the software engineers over at Nova to study and for me to kind of have as a reference point as well. So, in the words of Expedition 33, when one falls, we continue. My Matrice 30T will take over to mapping missions, even though I prefer to use something smaller and lighter for it. So, look forward to videos on the studies that we are doing over at Nova coming soon, because I think it's some really, really cool stuff, and it's some science that needs to get done. So this little Mavic died not on the battlefield. It died not because I was flying it erratically. It died not because of any sort of silly sort of issues. It died from a random hardware failure in the pursuit of science. So forgive me for being a little emotional about my tiny flying robot, but I also think it's one of the cool things about being human is the fact that we can lament the loss of even tiny flying robots. So to close, here's some clips from over the years of my Mavic. Hopefully you enjoy them, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Next up, we have the DJI Mavic 3T, one of the best enterprise consumer level search and rescue drones, firefighting drones, farming drones you can buy. Let's stick a hot dog into it. Welcome back to Northwind Aerial Imaging. Today we're going to answer one of the questions I've been asked probably more than any other question, which is, what do I carry for my drones on search and rescue missions? We have the drone itself, which fits in here like so. This is the Mavic 3T. Today on Northwind Aerial Imaging, we're going to go hide some bones. The only problem is finding a good place to take it off in this creek. Probably about as flat as I'm going to get right here. Just making sure these aren't going to hit anything when they take off. Approximately 20 minutes into searching, the drone operator spots a color different than the surrounding terrain. This color turns out to be a shirt. Team 2 locates the second training victim and immediately begins assessing their simulated injuries. Alright, got the drone in the air. Similar to all of our thermal breakdowns, I'm just going to be going out here and filming all the footage today, and then afterwards, when I'm editing all these videos, that's when we'll be doing our analysis and seeing how well we can find us on this photo. I'm a huge fan of the Mavic 3T, not just because of its capability for thermal imaging, but because it takes really great high-quality photos and videos, too. All right, so these are the weeds we're going for right here. Probably shouldn't hold my drone upside down like that.
Well, if we're in danger range of the rounds killing us, they're in danger range of the rounds killing their drone.
Yeah,
Robot lives matter, Travis.